Once I had kind of a surreal lunch with this film critic, and he was lambasting my films. He said, it doesn't have characters, and the storyline, this and that, is so missing, and so on. And like, oh, that was kind of hard to take. But then I knew by that time that everybody has a right to their opinion, and so I just kind of took it in stride. And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry you didn't like the film." And he says, "I don't know why I went into the Whitney Museum of American Art. I just don't get it," and all this kind of stuff. And I said, "Well, it's because you have a presumption of what a film should be. This is an experimental film, experimenting and exploring other ways to structure a film. It's not about story and like that, like 90% of the films in the world are. But in this film, I was exploring a different way to structure a film. So it's more like a sonata, a 3-part tone poem, kind of like a piece of music is structured. And so it's not about story, it's about a mood and tones and other things. And I'm talking about spiritual and mystical things. So there's a different kind of consciousness and thought, feeling tone, a different feeling tone in the films. And these are the things we're exploring. And maybe that's why I got accepted to the New American Filmmaker series at the Whitney Museum of Modern Art in New York. We were really exploring other ways to structure a film. Just like a painting doesn't have to be a literal image that's a recognizable image, there's a lot of other ways to make a painting, like cubism or surrealism or abstract expressionism. I mean, there's so much more, and that's what we're exploring. And so the critic kind of heard, and all of a sudden he slapped himself and said, "Oh, God," and he was muttering to himself, "I swore to myself that I will never talk about a film of what's not there, and that I would, not impose my own opinions on it and see what is there." And anyway, he ended up insisting that he pay for my lunch and everything. Anyway, so it kind of turned out weird in a strange way. And by the way, if you want to see these films, they're now on my website. I newly revised my website, fudingcheng.com, and there's a whole section on films. And these experimental films are under the title of Zen Tales for the Urban Explorer. So check them out. Let me know what you think. And they're very surreal and dreamlike, because all the content of these films are based on direct experience from altered states of consciousness, dreams, and visions, and like that. So check it out if you want something different.